hey, it's Sean Shapiro, here we go. Knows the road rules better than most folks know. Ask your questions, bring the heat or keep it chill. He's got the answers and a license to spill. Ask a traffic cop, Sean's your guy. Breaking it down, no lie, no tie. Knows the stuff and things to keep you clear. Ask away, he's the voice you want to hear. Badge, now a podcast star, navigating traffic laws near and far. Stop sign confusions or a signal light feud. Sean's the one to give you the right attitude. Yeah, ask your traffic cop, Sean's your guy. Breaking it down, no lie, no tie. Knows the stuff and things to keep you clear. Ask away, he's the voice you want to hear. From this man. Ask a traffic cop, Sean's your guy. Breaking it down, no lie, no tie. Knows the stuff and things to keep you.
Oh, look at that. Nobody can hear me. Wow. Okay, yes. Apparently you have to press the microphone active button. Yeah. User error. My name is Sean Shapiro, former police officer who is here to talk to you about traffic safety, traffic law, and police stuff. And I'm starting from the beginning because I had the mute button on. So I have a shirt that says you're on mute, and this time it was me. Anyway, I'm talking about stuff and things. I want to answer your traffic and police questions. And if you have questions, throw them into the comments because that's what I do here. I talk about stuff and things and answer your questions. But I have a question for you, and that is, what do you think about automated speed enforcement? You like it? You love it? You want some more of it? Or do you think it's unfair because Vaughan just scrapped it? I actually spoke at the Vaughan City Council meeting that had, well, it gave the community, albeit last minute because they kind of kept it hush-hush, they had the community come in and speak about what they thought was appropriate. And people came in, including myself, and spoke passionately about the fact that speed enforcement, specifically automatic speed enforcement, saves lives. It reduces speed. It's effective. It's proven to work. And they still voted against it, 7-3. And the three councillors who spoke in favor of it made a lot of sense, but sense made no difference to the people who were voting. Now, the mayor came out in a video, and I put it on my X.com account, voiceover cop, and you can go watch it. He says, "We heard you. You don't want us to come after you for crime or minor things. They want you to go. They want us to go after the big criminals, the real criminals." And yeah, everybody wants the cops, not the mayor, to go after the real bad guys. Yes, nobody should be getting away with minor offenses. We should be going after everybody who makes roads unsafe. So what the mayor effectively did, or city council as a whole, that voted for this, was to make roads less safe. They traded your safety on the road for votes. And the people who, we have to be real, the people who were complaining about speed cameras weren't the people who follow the law, weren't the safe drivers. They were the people who were getting tickets and making the roads less safe for everybody else. But I want to know about you. What do you think? Do you think that automated speed enforcement is effective or a cash grab, like the premier says? My only question is, since it's a tax only for people who break the law, is it really a tax grab? Is it reaching into your pocket? Now, here's an interesting concept that I don't think anyone's really taking into consideration. When you break a corporate contract, like Vaughn is about to do, or did, you have to pay like a lot of money, and you get nothing for it. It's just you broke the contract and you have to pay. So who's paying for that? It's not the mayor out of his salary. It's the taxpayers, even the ones who don't speed. So the claim that this is to make it easier on the people who are having tough times, because he kind of said that. Actually, he absolutely said that. It's bogus, because you're still paying. It's your money that's now gone up in smoke. It's just not, as offensive because it wasn't as a result of catching you doing the wrong thing. Or maybe because it's already out of your taxes and you've already paid for it. They're just wasting it. Anyway, I'd love to know your thoughts on it. Let's see what's going on. We've got a whole bunch of comments here. I already popped this up in the intro. And here is the message from Michaela, who says, "Greetings and salutations from Maddock." He's since moved from the Toronto to Maddock. And I have to admit that I don't actually know where Maddock is. In any case, we are good to hear. And by the way, back to basics, Matrix. Thank you very much for I looked over at your message in particular. It told me that the volume was down. And Jas and Peter, what's going on? See you on TikTok. And let's get back to Tian, who says, "Good morning, Sean," and also jumped in with no sound. And Akela had the no sound too. And good morning, Sean, from Julie, who, wow, okay, good. Tian says, it's amazing what one button that says mute does. I don't know why that was on, by the way. But anyway. We got Brandon, who says, "Good morning, Sean and all from Orangeville. Hope you have an amazing day. I plan to be on the road today. I've got some stuff and things to do out of the office, and I expect it will be amazing." By the way, anyone with traffic and police questions, please drop them into the comments, because I can talk about automated speed enforcement all day, but I want to hear from you. This is really about you. That's what the show is. It's answering traffic and police questions that help you get through your day without getting tickets safely. And if you're watching on TikTok, please tap the screen and let other people know. And Barry and Delta Sneaks, tap the screen. You too, Jez. Tian says, "Automated speed enforcement would alleviate many police officers so they can focus on real crimes." I've made that argument many, many times, and that's really where it's at. We're understaffed as police. And when a police officer shows up, especially in Toronto, and I can't really speak to how other places operate, but there are calls impending. They get there and there's 20 or 30 calls waiting. It's not because police officers are busy doing stop sign enforcement, because all the police officers who are available for priority calls are deployed to priority calls. And that means people aren't going to the stop signs. They aren't going to do that proactive policing because there just simply aren't police officers to do it. Well, there's about 20 of them, and they're called the Vision Zero Enforcement Team, and they do a magical amount of work. But that's because that's all they do. They aren't assigned to calls for service. They're the people who are focused on it. Now, they may have the same thing in New York region, but they can't be everywhere all the time, which means you get sporadic enforcement. And I like to say that people like to gamble. You may not go to the casino, but if you drive over the speed limit, you're taking a chance with both the chance of becoming involved in a collision as well as the chance of getting caught. So they're gamblers. And then they further gamble once they've been caught. They get a ticket from a police officer, they take it to court, and they waste more time and taxpayer money on playing the game to see if they can avoid consequences. Okay. It's a game they want to play, they play it. But that's why people speed, is because the chances of getting caught are so low. And I think that if every road had an automated enforcement camera, they wouldn't speed. Why? Because it wouldn't be low chances of getting caught. It would be nearly a guarantee that they'd be caught. And people don't like that. It takes all the fun out of driving, they say. They're going to take their longer, their drives are going to be extended because they count on and factor in the fact that they are going to be speeding into their drive. It only took me 20 minutes yesterday. I was doing 30 over, but come on. Anyway, instead of breaking contract, they could have just decided not to renew it since contracts have time frames. Good to know. I don't know how much this costs taxpayers. I mean, it's going to come out. They are busy backpedaling and paddling and waving their arms and celebrating, but they're avoiding the conversation about how much money did they invest in the 3 years leading up to this program being deployed. And when it was deployed for, was it 3 weeks? How much did those 3 weeks cost now that they're scrapping it? And why? Because people are upset. They hurt their feelings. Now they want to go after the rest of them. So you have to understand that these are Vaughn cameras that were scrapped, and then there's also cameras that are still in play in York Region, the regional cameras, which thank God they're still there. But leave it to Vaughn. They're sending a email message. They're sending a letter. They're going to try and influence other people to drop the program too. By the way, did you know that in Alberta, they're bringing cameras back? Yes, because they work. Cameras work. And when they took them away, fatalities and major collisions, well, they came back. So they want to stop that again. And I've yet to meet anybody. So please change my mind. If you think that cameras are wrong, bring some facts, bring some data, show me why you would say that they shouldn't be deployed other than it's not fair. Brandon says, I find Vaughn's decisions disgusting. Why not take away all speed limits and find out what is it? I have to read it again. I find Vaughn's decisions disgusting. Why not take away all speed limits and fines if they're too much of an inconvenience to the lawbreakers? Well, that's what he did. He waved a flag saying, it ain't no big deal. It's no big deal. Speeding, everybody does it. It's okay. Our children aren't important. Oh, wait. We're going to deploy some stuff like signs that say, please don't speed, pretty please. They're going to maybe put some speed cushions, maybe some things that make the roads less wide. Basically, they're going to piss everybody off instead of just the speeders who choose to make the roads less safe. And they're not going to reduce speed significantly through those measures because people are just going to, do you know that speed? I have a great call with a friend of mine who's a retired sergeant. And he says in front of his old house, and he recently moved, his old house, which was in front of a school, directly, he walked off his driveway across the street, there was a school and a speed camera. And he would watch the flashes go between speed bumps because they put speed bumps down, which are annoying as all get out. But people would then accelerate like maniacs between speed bumps and then get a ticket at the speed camera, which means, hello, speed cameras are interesting and important, even if there are speed bumps. Whatever. Let's see here. Oh, Kayla's letting me know where Maddock is. Belleville North. Okay. Places I did not know. He only has one traffic light right next to Timmy's, McDonald's, Subway, and the OPP station. Only franchise restaurants in town. But at least I know if I come out to meet you, we're eating at one of those places. And I know at least one of them has options for me in my no-carb diet. Somebody put up a message yesterday. I put up a picture. What picture was it? I put up a couple of posts. And one of those post responses was, you're doing well on your diet. You're totally unrecognizable. And I'm like, really? I look at this. I see the same guy in the mirror, even though I acknowledge that I've lost some weight in my face. But it is, I didn't think that the change was that significant. I've considered that I might shave this all off when I hit a particular weight loss goal. Maybe that's a thing I do. I don't know yet. We'll see how that goes. But it is, I am feeling great, by the way. Anyone who's watching, I've lost about 40 pounds since leaving the Toronto Police a year ago. And part of that is just, well, what is it? I had lost a bunch of weight while I was at Toronto Police, and then my friend got murdered, and then I gained a bunch of weight because apparently I was eating my feelings. But I gave up all sugar and carbs, although I did have a piece of, I technically have had sugar, and I had it on my kid's birthday because I'm having a piece of cake on my kid's birthday. But I haven't had anything since then. So I'm not resetting my 185-day count of no sugar, even though technically I broke it. But it was acceptable to break it. Stephen Bell says, hi, good morning, Sean. Good morning, Stephen. How are you? Julie says, what's the difference between being stopped by a cop or being caught on a speed camera? In my opinion, it's practically the same thing. Well, other than the odds of being caught are way higher on a camera because it's going to happen every single time as opposed to only when the police officers deployed and sitting there staring at that intersection, watching with a speed measurement device in their hand for speed in particular. The police officer is going to give you demerit points and it's going to affect your driver's license because they're looking at the driver who's driving and they can actually use it against your driver's license. They issue it to the person. Whereas a camera ticket is issued against the registered owner of the vehicle. It's an owner's responsibility charge, which means there's no demerit points. It doesn't affect your insurance. It's just cash. And that's where people say, well, it's just a cash grab because it's just cash. Hey, we can change the law, can't we? Laws are there to be modified legally, not broken. So if you think that, and I said this in my article in the Globe and Mail, we could simply take away the cash component. Let's change the law. Let's make it demerit points only. And then you lose your license. We'll take you, and you don't even have to we make a new thing. Instead of demerit points, we'll call it license plate points. They're not points against your license. We're just not going to let this car drive anymore. We could do that. Why not? We can do anything. The law can be written, approved, and passed to make it better for all. And when we're talking about safety, I think this really works. Okay, that's a new thing. We just invented it live on the show. Ask a traffic cop at, what time is it right now? 10:16 in the morning. We just came up with the Ontario government put this into play. Instead of no points and just a fine, we'll take away the fine. We're just going to make your car undrivable for the road. We're going to take away your car's license plate and it won't be registerable. We'll block the VIN. Hey, listen, there's ways of getting around stuff, which won't be physical. It won't be that. You just have to wait a year. Car can't drive for a year. 6 months? How long? We had to figure out something. But Paul says this topic is infuriating. Stupidity reigns. It really is. I wish you could have seen the faces. And I think you're going to be able to go watch the meeting play live or a replay of the live meeting on the Vaughan website. Everyone should go check it out once it's published. Watch it. It's wild. Now, I've also been told by people who are very involved, because I've since gone onto the Facebook groups and joined the Vaughan community groups that support the cameras and just safe driving on the streets, because they've seen a 10-year-old girl was killed in Vaughan, in a school zone. That was one of the, and oddly enough, the guy, one of the counselors who voted against cameras, voted in favor of the mayor's motion to scrap the cameras, is the counselor for the ward where the young girl died. I don't understand that. And he was kind of supportive of the program until he didn't realize what it was. He was shocked and figured out after the program. Anyway, Chris Ainsworth is his name. I don't get it. I don't understand how you flip-flop on tickets are good, but just wasn't what he thought it was. Let's see here. Scrolling back, I saw some messages. Oh, so CCRSA Group says he once commented on camera that he's doing for the people like senior citizens going to play bingo and kept getting tickets and say it's they can't afford the tickets. Yes. I did hear that comment on video. It was a head scratcher. If the senior citizen who keeps getting tickets when they go to bingo keeps getting tickets breaking the law, that senior citizen should no longer be driving. They should not. The fact is that tickets are an indicator that they are not capable of driving safely. And I have no issue. This is not ageism. The simple reality is when I was a police officer and I pulled over a senior citizen who drove the length of the Don Valley Parkway on the shoulder, that a letter went in. I wrote a letter to the ministry. This person should not have their driver's license. It was the weirdest thing to see, but they were confused. And if you can't figure out speed and the signs, and this is happening every time, you probably shouldn't be driving. Yeah, their way of dealing with this and suggesting that it's a financial crisis and not a driving crisis or a safety crisis shows that this is a municipal leadership crisis. Yeah. People who are getting ready to decide if they want to become involved in politics, get ready. You should be running in the next election. These people shouldn't be. Let's see here. CPOC says, what an insane thing to say. So the senior citizens go free and they endanger people to play bingo. Yeah. Hey, they should Uber or get one of those mobility devices. Not the fake ones that are cars, but the real ones. Yeah. And CPAC also says, since when is it okay to break the law and then complain it costs too much? It's the Twilight Zone. Yeah, I agree. And CCRSA group says, bingo ain't cheap either. Well, they said is not cheap either, but I added the ain't for effect. Okay, we had some interesting stuff here. Let's see here. Plug in for the Vaughan Community Road Safety Group. Yes. And CCRSA says election coming up. Oh, maybe a CCRSA member should run. Okay. What is this? Nobody Dies Fool 123, which is an interesting username, says pretending to impersonate imperial officers as a crime. Nobody Dies Fool 123. You make no sense. However, Tracy says nobody's doing that. I don't know who imperial officers are. Is that a stormtrooper thing? Is that a Star Wars reference? Or is nobody's fool a fool? Okay, what do we got here? Melody quite rightly says birthday calories don't count. Tracy seconds the motion. It's carried. Let's see here. Oh God, nobody's. I thought it said nobody's dies fools. No, it's nobody's fool, and I can't read this morning. But now they're talking. It sounds like they're Freeman of the Land baloney. So anyway, moving on. Ryan says, why can someone with a DUI still drive a lawnmower? Why can they? They cannot. A DUI, it comes with a criminal criminal. What the heck's it called? The disqualification for driving a motor vehicle, which means anywhere in Canada, they are prohibited from operating a motor vehicle. And guess what? A motor vehicle under the Criminal Code of Canada includes anything that is other than muscular power, which means a lawnmower, a Barbie mobile. The Barbie, there was recently somebody arrested for impaired operation driving a big wheel. I think it's a big wheel, a toy type wheel, some kind of wheel. It is a criminal offense. Yeah, it was dumb. So yeah, they can't drive a mower. Oh God, what is this? Nobody's fool 123, again, questionable username, says without words in writing, produce delegation oath of office in public bonds. Oh God. Tracy, you should just mute this guy because it's going to be the same baloney for the rest of the show if you don't. Jack Banyaman says, I have got camera speed ticket. Let's say if I have got camera speed ticket. Let's say if I don't pay, what will happen? Okay. If you don't pay a automated speed enforcement camera, you will not be able to renew your license plate. Won't change your driver's license, won't impact your insurance. It will not allow you to renew your plate, which means the car won't be allowed on the road until you deal with the fine. So they have a way of making sure you pay and feel the effects of the consequence, but it doesn't affect your driving record. And that's the big thing. Okay. Oh, I think I got rid of the hum that I was hearing. Good. I moved something. There was a wire that was causing some static. Hopefully, I wasn't causing anything for you. Just my ears were being tortured. Affalo says, nowadays, driving is a right, not a privilege. It has to turn the other way around. Thank you very much. Driving is a privilege, and we seem to have lost that. You're absolutely correct. This whole concept that I bought the car and the speedometer goes to 180, I deserve to use the whole speedometer. This concept that they have a right to get to work in comfort with air conditioning. No, you have a right to get to work, and you can walk or you can take the bus. Driving a car is absolutely a privilege. Yes, you pay for it, but you have to drive and act within the rules that society sets. Now, maybe society says we don't want rules. That's not society. That's mayhem. Okay. Going back to the TikTok. By the way, my name is Sean Shapiro. I'm a former police officer who talks about traffic safety, traffic law, and police stuff. If you've got questions about traffic safety or police stuff, please drop them in the comments. Regardless of the platform, I'm trying to monitor all of them. So if you've got questions, I generally have answers. If I don't, we'll figure it out. We'll look it up together. I'm talking a lot about automated speed enforcement. Why? Because not only did I write an article that was published in the Globe and Mail, but I also spoke in front of Vaughan City Council in opposition of scrapping it. They still scrapped it because they didn't care. And then I've been busy with media since that day because I spoke to Global yesterday, CBC. Who else did I speak with? Spoke with somebody else. Oh no. Who else did I speak with? Today I'm speaking with the Globe and Mail again because now, although I wrote an article in an op-ed in the paper, I'm now also a subject matter expert that's discussing stuff and things with them in their article. So this is far from over. in my opinion, they may have passed it, they may be walking away and trying to cover it up. But I think this is still something that is going to be a big issue. If they scrap the program, then somebody is tragically killed as a result of speeding in those communities. Who's responsible? Does the council pay? Like, do they go back to this decision and say, "Oh, this was a bad decision"? I don't know. I honestly don't know because I'm not a politician. I'm just a former cop, and yeah, I speak from that perspective, not from someone who's trying to get votes. Although somebody suggested I run for office, and I'm like, yeah, I don't know if politics are my thing. I might say something or call someone a name or something. I don't know. I don't know. I don't think that's a thing for me. What do we got here? We've got scrolling back. Okay, so first off, Akela says there's other restaurants. If I come to visit him in Maddock, there's other restaurants, just no chains. Okay, good to know. Uh, just so I'm taking away, scrolling through the personal messages to me about food. Okay, Stephen Bell says, I would like to ask you what you think about catch and release law. Oh, I'm a jail no bail guy. I am very much conservative in terms of thinking how law should be applied. In fact, for the longest time, you wouldn't meet a liberal cop. We have them now, and they may be in support of catch and release, maybe hug a thug. I am not that guy. I think if you get caught doing something, if you're releasable because you're really releasable, fine. You stole a chocolate bar. That's totally separate than if you're an actual criminal, bad person that needs to be held inside a cell. Yeah, I think they should sit in cells, not at home, not comfortable. Okay. Yeah, there's no consequences. We need consequences. Look, for all the people who look at the microcosm of this conversation about speed cameras, look at the bigger problem. They say, let's go after the big criminals. How about we deal with all people who violate? Because how you do one thing is how you do everything. Our problem with the crime stuff is no different than our problem with driving. It's a different act and it's a different response, but really it's the same thing. People don't care. There's no fear and there's no consequence. And that's the problem. We need more. We need it everywhere. But you can't excuse one bad behavior and then move to another one. Let's go back to the magical TikTok. And the Barbie car was in British Columbia. Good to know. Thank you very much, Tracy. Mr. Twig says, morning, Sean. What about riding a horse and having a beer? So it depends on where you go, depends on your jurisdiction. There are places that say the animal is driving, you're just a passenger, and it wouldn't be chargeable, and that's in the States, right? In the United States, some states will charge you and others won't. In Canada, I don't believe it qualifies for impaired operation. But I will honestly say that I don't know for certain. I've read about it. I had an answer before. After reading about it, I've since forgotten the answer in terms of the Canada perspective. It's really operating a motor vehicle, and that is not a motor vehicle. Now, there might be something about, because there are people who roll their carriages in Elmer, Ontario that might be drunk. There may be something there. I can't speak to it specifically in this province. Melody says, can't drive farm equipment if you've lost your license due to DUIs. Absolutely right. But it's still a motor vehicle. Dan says, God bless you, Sean. You are loved. Thank you, Dan. I appreciate it. It's good to be on the receiving end of love of all kinds. Let's see here. Mr. Twig says, it's how they get their vigilantes. It's how they get their vigilantes. Vigilantes. I guess it's tomato. Yeah. Well, the problem is we're seeing people who are acting out and taking matters into their own hands. And I think that's where the chief of York Regional Police, who said, hide. If someone's breaking into your home, hide. Don't take matters into your own. Don't take matters into your own hands. I think they're trying to just keep people safe because things are really out of hand. Let's see here. Tracy says, but canoe isn't a motor vehicle and you can get a DUI. And that, Tracy, is because a canoe is a vessel, and under a different act, it is identified as something that is followed. So yeah, it is absolutely against the law. Okay. What is the question here? CCRSA says, exactly. I've asked Vaughan Council myself, who will be responsible? That's if something should go wrong. They also said, loved your delegation for ASC cameras at the city of Vaughan. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I've got to go back and look. I want to actually get the video. I watched the video because I went there with a prepared presentation. And after hearing so many different speakers speak, I didn't want to have any duplication and threw shot from the hip instead. And I'm sure I was okay, and I appreciate you saying that I was. But I afterwards went, oh, I could have said this. Oh, I could have said that. But the reality is, and my friend who's in politics told me this before I went and spoke. He says, it doesn't matter what you say. They are going to vote the way they want to vote because that's how politics work. These meetings are for show, not go. And you could stand there with all the proof in the world and they will not vote. I said, come on. This is me being the optimistic guy that I can be 3 days out of the week. I thought we could actually make some change. And I was really disappointed when they took all the facts and went, people don't like tickets. That's what they did. I see Mr. Twig's comment. He says 12 gauge is a homeowner's best friend. Just a thought. I know many people who would agree with you. And Justin says enforcement, but it's out of context because I'm reading things not necessarily just as they come out of my mouth. There's a bit of a delay. So I don't know what you're saying enforcement in relation to. So many good things that are coming down the pipe, not related to ASE, but yeah, there's some good stuff that I'm looking forward to talking about in the coming weeks. Okay. Just dropping that hint there. things are cool. Okay, we've got some dad jokes that I've flagged for later. And Akela says, it's not a matter of tickets, good or bad. He's a politician. It's about what makes him popular with the highest number of people. Well, there's no question of that. No question of that at all. Yeah, what a dog and pony show that was. Anyway, yeah, I'm not generally a fan of politicians. I appreciate that someone's got to stand up and do the job. But what are we voting? Anyway, I don't want to get into that. I'm going to get all pissy if I get to start talking about the frustration I have for the politicians in power. Okay. It shouldn't be power. It should be representing the people. And I guess if the people don't want tickets, we shouldn't be representing the people because protecting the people from themselves is still the first job of responsible government. Anyway, as opposed to, anyway. Okay. Oh, Mr. Twig is the former Real VR. Got it. Oh, I didn't know you were into the arm wrestling game. I got a buddy of mine who's a you arm wrestler. You guys should connect. You can go arm wrestle. Waddell Engineering says, just bought the DJI Mini 5 drone this morning. Is it on shelves? I just watched the video for it. Okay, so I'm a big drone nerd, and so is Waddell Engineering, who is who has the big boy new drone, but he also bought that's the what's it called? What the heck's the other one called? The Mavic 4 Pro. And I was getting ready. I started this. I sold my mini drones, and now I got another one because I needed it for something. And now I'm prepared to sell it again so that I can pick up a Mini 5 Pro. And I know I'm going way off topic, but I was waiting to find out if the Mini 5 Pro would accept the Mini 4 Pro batteries, and I'm told it does. And I have a gazillion. I have like 9 batteries for my Mini 4, and they're compatible in the Mini 5. But the Mini 5 batteries, which are said to give more battery life, are lighter, which means with the Mini 4 batteries in, they'd all be over the 249 gram, which is fine because I'm a licensed pilot. But it's all very interesting. How much was your Mini 5 Pro? I haven't looked at the retail. Is it the same price as the Mini 4 Pro, or has it gone up? Anyway, we'll circle back to drones in a second. If you have interesting questions about traffic safety, traffic law, or police stuff, you should ask them because that's what we're all about. By the way, I just want to, that's not the right button. Where's my right button? It's just the right button. Diamond and Diamond Lawyers. That's the button I was looking for. They're sponsors of this show. They believe in traffic safety. They believe in traffic law. They want us to help educate people to make the road safer for everybody. And I bet you they don't like this ASE thing, but I can't speak on their behalf. Here's the deal. If you are looking for somebody and you've been hurt and you're looking for a lawyer, consider them. Not because they're asking me to tell you that, because I'm telling you that they support me and I support them only because they're awesome. Yeah. It really, by the way, this show is brought to you by Better Traffic Safety and Education. That is the not-for-profit group that I started when I launched after leaving the Toronto Police Service. And the Better Traffic is funded in part by donations and support from companies like by Diamond and Diamond Lawyers. So what I'm trying to say is I don't get paid to sit here and talk. I talk because I want to help you. The organization is about getting information out to everybody, and the sponsorships help pay for stuff. Because oddly enough, even just having a corporation, a not-for-profit, you have to pay for lawyers, you have to pay for accountants, and you have to pay for electricity. These are all costs. It's not so I can roll around on a Benz. I don't have a Benz. No. I don't have a new car at all. Ooh, a company car. I need to get a lot more donations before I can get a company car. It's not happening. Okay, moving on. Drinking, not drimping. Drinking while camping. I put drinking and camping together. That's how I got drimping. Drinking while camping on Crown land is dicey, right? Can I get a DUI even if I'm in a tent? I don't know what the rules are about drinking on Crown land. I would assume it's not permitted unless you're in a campsite. If you're in a canoe, even if the canoe's on your tent, your campsite, you can get charged because that's a different charge under the Liquor License Act. You can't drink in your car even if it's parked anywhere. So it depends really what your question is. I've never gone camping. I'm my idea of roughing it is black and white TV. I'll let you know. But yeah, so I don't have a great answer for you on that. Jeebs says, why ask if you can have drugs or weapons in your car if you're going to search my vehicle anyways? Oh, so a police officer, it depends on your jurisdiction. I've never asked anyone if they have drugs or weapons in their car. This is possibly a way of saying I'm going to if I said to you I'm going to search my car, is there anything I should know about, anything that's going to stick me or hurt me, is to protect me. It's giving me information. I'm about to find it, so why not just tell me about it so nobody gets hurt? That could be just a conversation. I've really never had that conversation. I get the reason for saying it. It's different if I'm patting you down, like I'm going to pat you down now. Is there anything in your pocket that's going to stick me or hurt me? Is a really good way to do it. Now, I have gone by way of using a little stick that with a hook on it to invert pockets instead of sticking my fingers into one's pockets to pat around and get stuck by a hypodermic needle. Yeah. What's this? Let me just test. No, we're still live. We're still moving. Somebody said, oh, it froze. I don't think it froze for anyone else. Okay. So, I don't know that situation. Is it a TV thing? Is it a specific jurisdiction where you heard it? Did someone ask you in particular? It could be just a cop who watched TV in the States, or maybe there's a policy for a different service. Who knows? Okay. Justin says, Mike lives on my street. He was an armor. Oh, okay. Hold on. I got to send a message to my buddy about that. There we go. I don't know Mike, but that's interesting. I'll share it with my buddy who is the wrestler. Kitchen Sarah says, good morning, Sean. Good morning to you. And I salute you back. I got a salute you emoji. I love that thing. Okay. Okay, and just another comment. Earl Wilson, 31 super. Okay, now we're making a arm wrestling competition thing here. 1,800 for the new. Oh my goodness, the Fly More is $1,800. Okay. Tracy says not on 1010 this morning. No, and you scared me. Am I supposed to be? I was on 1010 a couple days ago. So I think being that it was like Monday or Tuesday that I was on 1010, I already covered it. Justin. Okay, we got that. Lots of arm wrestling discussion here. What's our time like? Oh, we still got the time. Do you think that Apple iPhone should call their chargers Apple Juice? That's from No Juan. I like that username. That's very good. I like that. Chargers Apple Juice. That's actually, you know what? You should send Apple a suggestion. Maybe they'll give you a phone. And Tracy likes that. Okay. But Tracy's going to call her Apple iPhone charger Apple Juice from now on. I think it's brilliant. That's good. We should make some stickers. Okay. Jack says, what do you think about the removal of speed cameras? You are late, Jack. I am not happy with the removal of speed cameras. I personally believe and have been saying this for many, many moons that we should have speed cameras on every highway, road, everything. There should be no road where speed is not being monitored and enforced by way of electronic devices. And the reason being is there's no reason you should ever speed. The speed limit is the maximum, not the minimum, not a suggested stick around speed. It's not for when you're cornering. It's for the real world best scenario. So if it's 60, it's 60 in perfect road conditions. When it's raining, you're supposed to go less than 60. Does anyone do that? No, they're still doing 10 over or more. So the fact is people are completely upside down when it comes to how to follow the law, what the law is, and what is safety. Because the law is best scenario. 100 kilometers an hour on the 401, perfect dry day, not 150. But we see it every day. The level of aggressive driving, unsafe moves, just just boneheaded stuff behind the wheel is unnerving. Never mind, something that makes me angry. It's scary. My kids don't drive. The drivers today suck. When my kids are old enough to drive, how bad will it have eroded to? Like, because it's getting worse every day. We don't have enough police on the road to effectively police the people driving. And we know this. When the cat's away, the mouse will play. And when you don't feel like there's any consequences, you push the boundaries. The same thing with our parents when we were kids, except that you risked maybe a spanking. But now spankings might get you, in trouble with the police, according to some people. So the kids are calling, children's aid if you got yelled at because their emotional framework is so soft. Anyway, it's pathetic. We need to get back to law and order. We need to get back to rules, and we got to follow them. Because when we don't follow rules, we get stuff like we have today. Protests in our streets and pathetic everywhere. Anyway, I digress. I think we need to get more cameras, not less. It's thoroughly disappointing that we have the stuff that we're seeing. Oh, anyway. Kitchen Sarah Cozy says it was the best decision Canada did, put electronic cameras in all the GTA. Truly, I think we'd see such better behavior. And it is behavior. When if you had a child who is going through a temper tantrum, do you just give them what they ask for, or do you say, go to your room, figure it out, come back? Well, that's what should have happened when people complained about automated enforcement. Go to your room, think about what you did. You broke the law, you got a ticket, grow up. Oh, children. We're dealing with children. That's what we're dealing with. Children who complain to politicians who apparently parent. Because listen, police are parents. Like, yeah, their parents don't have children, but I've often felt like the parent. What happens? He hit me. Why'd you hit him? Well, he took my toy. He took his toy. Why'd you take his toy? Well, he wasn't being nice to me. So can you just apologize to each other and go have a time? No, this is what you do with children as parents. Well, that's what police are doing with grown-ups who either drink or just act like dum-dums. That's what's happening. When you can't control your own stuff, police have to be your mommy and daddy, or your daddy and daddy, or your mommy and mommy. But the fact is, they have to come in and be the parent. Well, I think politicians have gotten into this, but they forgot what the rules were. Yeah. Are old cars less likely to be pulled over? Violators are likely to be pulled over. Old, new, doesn't matter. What you do behind the wheel, or if your car is falling apart because it's that old, that's what causes you to be pulled over, not the age of your vehicle. So no, and no, I don't think you're less likely or more. Like, it's what you do. Justin says traffic stops are also super dangerous for police. Cameras are cheaper and risk reducing. 100%. Yes. But traffic stops are the most dangerous thing you can do. It's an unplanned event. No one knows what's going to happen until it happens. You don't know who you're pulling over until you pull them over. They could be gangbangers. They could be doctors, lawyers. It could be anybody. You don't know. And because you don't know, that element of surprise is there. You could walk up to a car and a gun could be pointing to you at the officer. So it's a real risk. Yes. Cameras are cheaper and risk reducing, but they don't have the same consequence. I would much rather, don't get me wrong. When I say every road should have a camera, it's not because we shouldn't have police also there. It's that we can't be everywhere. Like, I think, you know how you do it? It shouldn't be it should be double jeopardy, right? You shouldn't be able to get a ticket from both the camera and the cop. So, okay, whenever there's a cop around, it'll supersede. The police ticket will supersede the camera ticket. You shouldn't get both. I actually believe that. But the ticket from the cop, demerit points, impacts your license, impacts your insurance, and that's what should happen. And I'm also open to the concept of changing the rules to make camera tickets also impact your license and your ownership, because no one should be breaking the law. I had a great conversation with my buddy who's a lawyer this morning, and he's like, but it feels like, it's too much. I'm like, because you want to speed? Well, because he wants to speed, because he wants to go over the speed limit, because he just want to get caught, because people don't want rules. They want the rules for everybody else. How many times have you like yelled or cursed out another driver for doing something you probably did 5 minutes ago or will do 5 minutes from now? But when it's you, it's okay, and it's them, it's not. Because rules for me are real rules for thee and not for me. That's what it is. People accuse police of it all the time, but police are actually legitimately permitted to use or break certain laws. The laws, they're exempt from them. And I see the TPA is here. Hello. It's me venting. I'm venting this whole episode. Kitchen Sarah says, I have 4 children's, but they're all know how to be or how to respect. No matter where we are, we have to respect. Yes. Yes. I had this conversation with my kids and my wife yesterday. We were talking about a police officer whose son did a horrific thing. I'm not going to get into the story. You probably know what I'm talking about. But the father of this criminal, this murderer, oh, I said it already, is a police officer or was, because he is so shamed by this that he resigned his position. And since the day my children were born, well, I was a police officer, and we've raised them, and mostly my wife has been saying this. When we're out in public, you're representing this family, and you have to act accordingly. Your father's a police officer. You have to do the right thing, because when you don't do the right thing, what does that say about our family? What does it say about your dad? We do the right thing all the time. We choose to do the right thing all the time, not because we have to do the right thing, but because we're telling other people that they have to do the right thing. So we have to lead by example, right? It's this whole concept from the ground up. We are walking the walk. Do the right thing because it's the right thing to do, not because we're being made to, because we choose to. And that means we have to do that in every area of our life. My kids are amazing. Thank God. They do the right thing. They behave magically. Not everybody's so lucky, but I'm saying this not to show off. I'm not saying this is that's how you have to do things. Just how we've done things. It's been really effective. And people come up to us and say, "Wow, your kids are amazing." They keep knock on wood. They're they do the right thing, and they're so well behaved compared to people or kids in their age group. It's something I'm very proud of. But it's I don't even know what I'm trying to get at. What I'm trying to get at is that not everybody raises their kids the same way, and what happens is you end up kids getting speeding tickets and killing people. That's what I'm saying. It's a direct connection. I'm moving on. CCRSA says we've been protesting illegal truck yards in Caledon, Brampton, Vaughan. Tens of thousands of trucks in our area causing complete chaos. Province is not listening to shut down the yards. Interesting. We'll have to have a discussion offline so I can understand the issue more. It's not something I'm aware of or familiar with. Maybe that's the right word to use, familiar. I'm not aware of the problem, but I'd love to hear more about it. Okay, Mr. Tweak says, I live in central Ontario, in the most southern tip of Georgian Bay, and the rural driving around here is crazy. Okay. It got broken up. It's I can't speak to rural driving. I'm a city boy. I don't know. Tell me more about why is it driving you crazy? Is it too fast? Is it dangerous? Then Jack says it's worse in Brampton. I've heard a lot of that. Haven't experienced a lot of it, but they have wide open roads. They look like highways in the city. Jeebs says body cams stopped angry officers from abusing their power. Interesting note. I talk about this a lot, and I recently did a presentation to a community group, and I talked about cameras, and I suggested that the people doing security patrols, not security patrols, not security officers, or community patrols, get body cameras. Police love body cameras. The allegation is it stopped angry officers from abusing their power, but in truth, it stopped people who were making allegations that were unfounded against police officers, alleging that they were abusing their power. Well, it basically made those people no longer able to make reports that were false. When people would make the reports because they didn't realize the camera was on, they said, the police officer did this, that, and the other, and then they review the video and they'd say, you mean this video where you're kicking, punching, doing it completely invalidated the claims. And I love body cameras. I've thought about getting one as a drone operator to wear a body cam so that when I'm out there and someone comes up and says, what are you doing? Why are you flying this here? Who are you? You're breaking the law. You can't do. I want to have that all on camera. I currently put I have to say that most of the time I just say, I'm legally here. I'm a licensed pilot. Go away. But it very rarely happens. But I've thought about it because I saw some videos of American drone pilots dealing with dum-dums coming up to them. And I think that it's a great tool. And I've got actually links to the one that I found online that I want to buy. I've yet to buy it though. In any case, it's very interesting. I really went deep into rabbit holes here. I got a dad joke for Bernhard. If you got dad jokes for later, please share them. I love to read them at the end of the show. And the end of the show is coming up in 10 minutes because I got to get out of here. I got an interview that's scheduled and I need to get into the car. I got to drive somewhere. Okay. Moving. What do we got here? Steve says, that's hilarious. It's exactly what I tell people. Being a cop is just like being a parent. 100%. But you parent adults. And Melody says that she met one of my kids and she's a wonderful lady. Daughter of yours. Yes. Yeah. Very proud. Thank you. I will share that information with her. I'm sure that will brighten her day. Let's see here. Ooh. Paul says, I have a Vaughn explanation. It's a glitch in the matrix. Okay, I'm scrolling back. So apparently I left. I flagged a bunch of stuff. Okay. And then I saw a comment from a driving instructor. As a driving instructor, a driver instructor can deliver lessons on private way, ? Not working for a driving school. Ah. Okay. Driving instructors have places they can't provide lessons. Like they can't do it in school parking lots, but I can as a civilian who wants to go in the parking lot. I can teach my kid to drive there. Private property, like a driving instructor is a driving instructor. So you're saying just one who's unemployed but certified as a driving instructor? I don't know how that falls in. Like if you're a driving instructor teaching someone for money, then you fall under the rules, I would assume, of a driving instructor. If you are, teaching your cousin, your friend, your nephew, your neighbor, whatever, and you're not being paid for it, you're not a driving instructor, you're the person who's supervising them and teaching them to drive unofficially. At that point, I don't think you have any issues. But as soon as you're a driving school, you have an issue. And if you're a driving school is not a driving school, you're probably looking at other problems. So I'd be cautious about how you're operating. And it's a very weird space. Like anyone could open up a driving school, but if you're not certified or if you're not teaching an approved curriculum from the Ministry of Transportation, the people taking the course don't get any benefit in time. It's kind of a waste of time. So yeah. Kitchen Sarah's Cozy says, soon start work. Take care. All of you stay safe. And as always, Sean, stay safe. Thank you much, Sarah. Take care. Okay. Let's see here. I'm scrolling. Let's see here. Okay, we're good there. We're up to date. Now we have Epic Life Enthusiast. Well, wait. First of all, we got Stephen Bell says, 46 years I've been on this earth. I've never seen the inside of a jail cell. Good for you. That is the way to do it. Keep it up, because I've seen the inside of a jail cell because I put people in it and picked people up from them and dropped them off from there. It's really not that nice, so that you're not missing out on anything. Okay, where we go. Now we've got Epic Life Enthusiast who says, if speeding cameras are so effective, why stop at fines? Imagine a system where instead of paying money, you pay with time. Every dollar in your speeding ticket translates into jail time. Listen, there's a movie I watched where it was people had timers in their wrists and it was their life. And you could either get more or get less. You could trade. There was no currency. It was just time before you expired. Very interesting concept. But I was recently trying to figure out where on earth I saw tickets spitting out of printers every time someone broke a law. And I came to think it was the Fifth Element. One of my favorite movies of all time is Fifth Element. And when he's driving the taxi, the speaker comes off and says, you have one demerit point left on your license. Didn't have that voice, but whatever. The idea was you did something wrong. You got a citation instantly. It notified you and it impacted your license right then and there. That would be a great way for automated enforcement to play out. Instant response. Nobody can say a month has transpired. I forgot that happened. It doesn't have the same impact. So yeah, I think that's something interesting. And then I sort of scrubbed through the DVD looking for where's the printer in the car. Well, I never saw the ticket come out of the dashboard. Maybe it was a director's cut that I saw, or I was dreaming. But then I looked up Demolition Man. This is a Stallone and what's his name? Blade. Isn't it Blade? What's his name? Anyway, every time he swore, a ticket would shoot out of a printer, like saying, you've been fined for being combine the two. Let's have a ticket printer that spits out stuff right then and there. But I'm also okay with jail. We'll put people in jail. A $200 ticket, that's 2 days behind bars. $1,000 ticket, 10 days, no exceptions, no loopholes, just accountability. This flips the script on traffic enforcement. Wealth can't buy leniency. Well, look about those tickets, not tickets. Where the heck was it? I Norwegian, I don't know, somewhere. An executive got a ticket for like $250,000 for speeding. Why? Because it was based on his income, not a standard ticket price. And maybe that needs to happen because, but of course, it's going to be a cash grab, right? Anything that involves money, cash grab. Doesn't matter what the person did to invoke the response, it's going to be labeled a cash grab because that's what people want to use as the catch all excuse. Oh, okay, Derek, right on. Okay, cool. Yes, I am enjoying my day thus so far. We'll see how the rest of it goes. Um, he says, "Hey, Sean, it's Derek here," and I'm like, I know a couple of Derek's, but I think I know which Derek we're talking about. Okay, what do we got here? Tian says, "Are there any volunteer work available for better traffic safety and education?" Reach out to me. You can get me at Sean at bettertraffic.ca for the better traffic side of things. And absolutely, we can try and figure something out. Yeah, yeah. Let me know, Tian. We haven't really explored it. It's something we're doubling down on. But help is help, and I'd love to accept help to make roads safer. Okay. On Lakeshore Boulevard in Etobicoke by Humber College, I see motorcycles without license plates doing stunt driving. Do I call 911 or the non-emergency line to report it? So here's the question to you. Is the stunt driving that you see a risk to public safety, or even the safety of the people involved in it? If yes, if you're concerned for them and you think that's going to result in immediate harm to somebody, then 911 is an appropriate call. I certainly think it would be. If you're saying wheelies and whatnot, and these are all motorcycles without plates, meaning no license, no insurance, yeah, I'd call 911. It may also be criminal. What they're doing could be absolutely criminal. So if you feel strongly about it, because only you can make that call, then I would say, yeah, I would call based on what I'm envisioning you, based on what you've said. I have a picture in my head of I'd be calling 911. How do they calibrate the cameras like school zones where the speed limit changes from certain times of day? I'm not aware of any sections that have temporary cameras. Maybe they exist. I don't know of any. So the ones that I have seen are 40K all the time. Actually, that's not true. I drive by one on a fairly regular basis in Markham. And I think that that one, it's in front of a school, but it's only school hours. And it might just be that they ignore anything captured outside of that time. I don't know. Any of these tickets that are issued are reviewed by humans prior to issuing. So they'd have to qualify as, in tickets that work. So having a timer that says during certain hours it works and doesn't work, I would assume is a fairly simple concept. The question of really how do they calibrate them to make sure that they are enforcing the appropriate speed, it would be that they have a certificate that they've been tested and are working in accordance with their manufacturer setup and accurate. And I don't know because it's not a police function. I've never seen how they do it or what their employment, but they must have a contract that ensures that they're being done. If you go to the toronto.ca website, I think it's .ca, you can go look at the certificates for each of the devices deployed in Toronto. They publish it. I think I've got Bernhard's dad joke. Is it the first one or is this the second one? Hang on a second. Didn't I flag it already? Maybe not. Okay. We're going to flag this for a second. And then a dad joke from Tian. Did you say you're going for an interview? That's LJ. I'm going to be interviewed shortly by it's a telephone interview. It's for Globe and Mail. But LJ, good to see you. How are you doing? Akela says he's older and he's also never seen the inside of a jail cell. It's a good thing. Akela, and with perfect timing, is cueing the end of the show. Oh, Wesley Snipes, thank you. That's who is in Demolition Man. Absolutely. Tickets are a good replacement for a shell when you don't know. For anyone who hasn't seen Demolition Man, you're missing out. It's one of my favorite movies alongside Fifth Element. Those are the classics. Okay, what do we see here? We see, and what Bernhard also said, Wesley Snipes. Disguised Ape says, why do cops almost never ticket for HTA sections 128.2 or 147.2? And I'm going to look those up so I can make sure I'm citing the correct section. Let's go into the act. I got a quickie, looky-uppy thingy. And we're going to go do we say 147? Sub 1. Failed to keep right when driving at less than normal speed. That is issued on a regular basis, but not as often as people would like. And that's because it's really not applicable very often. The truth is, how slow are you going? Also, 128 sub 2 is no longer a ticket. What is a 128 sub 2? Oh, wait. B1, C, D. No, I don't see. I see things F was repealed, but that's all over sub 1. What's sub 2? See, so let me know. Going back to fail to stay right when going less than normal. What is normal speed? It doesn't apply to people going over the speed limit. Like if everyone's doing 120 and it's a 1 and the person who's not doing normal, not speeding is doing 120, that ticket, in my opinion, would not hold up in court. They should stay to the right. The guy's disguised Abe says failure to travel at prudent speed. I think that's being repealed. I don't think that is still on the books. It's certainly not a charge. But all of those things that say normal or the wording of prudent speed would all be referring to speed that is lawful. So if the speed is above the lawful speed, it cannot be normal nor prudent. It's illegal. So if everyone's doing 100, the speed limit, and somebody pulls into the left lane is doing 30, they're going to get unnecessary slow driving or failure to stay to the right. They're going to get that charge, and they do get that charge. Is it a constant thing? Well, here's a separate problem altogether. That's not the charge we're looking for. We're looking for speeding, aggressive driving, stunt driving. We're not focused on the one guy going a little too slow and making people unhappy they can't speed. The priority isn't making the roads clear for speeders. The priority is making the roads safe. And many people will argue, well, the guy going slow is very unsafe. He is if he's in the left lane. They should be explain the rules. But the bigger problem is the speeder, in my opinion. 80 and 100 in the left. Yeah, that depending on the situation, they shouldn't be there. Could you find a reason why it was acceptable? Depends on the road. But yes, 80 and 100, you could lay a charge for that. I wouldn't have a problem with that. What the hell is the guy doing in the left doing 80? There's a right lane for a reason. Now, if the person that was upset was doing 120 and had to slow down, I don't have a problem for that. That's a them problem. But if you're doing 100 and everyone has to go around them because this person is in the left, absolutely that's the right time to lay that charge. I rarely see that though. Anyway, I support that. Disguised Ape, did you recently change your username, or are you new to the channel? Because the ape thing is, reminds me of somebody else with an ape name that's a friend. Melody loves the Demolition Man. I'm gonna have to watch that. I think it should be appropriate for my kids to watch. I watch movies again with my kids. I'm waiting for them to be old enough to watch the Bond series. I want to really bring that to their attention. Let's do dad jokes because I got to get out of here. Okay. How is an English teacher like a judge? They both give out sentences. I like that one. That's a good one. Y'all agree? I almost had difficulty reading it, but the Real Walker Texas Ranger, what's going on? How you doing? Good to see you. Okay. Dad joke number 2. What do Olympic sprinters eat before a race? Nothing. They fast. I like the other one more, but this is still pretty good. Dad jokes. It's kind of a thing. Feels like it's been a while since we've had dad jokes. And it probably has, because Kayla, who is usually the dad joke, the king of dad jokes, has been moving and busy and whatnot and missed some of the shows. And we've missed you. We've missed you and your dad jokes. Quote. It's not a dad joke. We'll leave the quote for a second. We'll come back and do the quote after the dad jokes. Why did the obtuse angle go to the beach? Because it was over 90 degrees. Yes. Okay. The dad joke. Okay. Shop owner. Thieves broke in last night and stole 15 cases of Red Bull. Employees. Wow, that's awful. Shop owner. Yeah. I don't know how they get to, I don't know how they sleep at night. It's a groaner, but it's all right. Okay. Dad joke. Long one sent to Telegram. Oh, that's not, I can't. He said it's not a dad joke. It's a dad joke, but it's a long one. He sent it to the Telegram group. By the way, telegram.trafficcop.ca if you want to join the dad group. The Telegram group have some chats. I'll have to read it later. We'll have to use it another time because it's too long to look it up right now. Bernhard has a dad joke. He says, I ran into a lamppost yesterday. Luckily, I only sustained light damage. Yes. Tien's dad joke. Why should Walter White approach the hosts? Let me try it one more time because apparently I'm having difficulty. Why should Walter White approach the host's house first? Because he's the one who knocks. I don't get it. Should I get it? Is Walter White the guy for am I making a connection? I immediately went to think about the TV show about the guy who isn't that Walter White? Who's the host? What? I'm so confused. Please tell me what this joke is. What am I missing? Let's see here. Okay, disguised ape is not the other ape. Okay. He says, had this name for years. I don't think I'm the person you're thinking of. Thank you for your time. Disguised ape, thank you for yours. Appreciate you coming in here. The other ape, whose name I can't think of right now, is a truck driver. And he's been a regular contributor, watcher of the show for forever. But I thought some people changed their names. Like we have Mr. Twig, who was not Mr. Twig last time I saw him. So that's why I thought what I thought. Yeah, I don't get Chan. I don't understand your joke. We're moving along. Kayla says, stay safe. Remember, don't have a good day. Have a great day. Yes, that is the way to do it. Drive safe, drive sober, park legally, do all that stuff that you do. And we'll hope we see you again soon. I'll be back next week, Tuesday night. I might jump in with another After Dark sometime in the next couple of days. We'll see what I can do. Generally, I'm pretty booked up after Wednesday mornings, which is the case. Tuesday, I will be back next Tuesday for sure. And that's it. That's all. That's all, folks. Have a great day, and we'll see you on Tuesday night. And if we don't see you on Tuesday night, maybe we'll see you next Wednesday. And if you want to ask questions, go to askatrafficop.ca. You can leave me a voicemail. I do respond. Had some great stuff coming yesterday. Yeah, that's it. That's all.